To start with thinking about how do we actually look at the way that we think about sustainability, because I think we'll find that we all have a very different way of thinking and expressing based on our own personal attitudes, and that's important for us when we start to teach about it. But we also want to explore some things like what are the kinds of skills that a student might need, what are the mental frameworks that we think are associated with sustainability that will also help them understand some of these problems better as they come along. And thirdly, we want to look at and then transition that into, if we can identify the kinds of skills, then how do we look at that in terms of preparing students as they go out? And finally, if we're all successful in coming up with good ideas about how we teach and how we engage students and how we prepare them, we still need to figure out how we can assess whether or not we're successful or not. This whole group really demonstrates that sustainability is not an environmental field, it's not narrow, it's broad. We've got a lot of different people from a lot of different perspectives. Sustainability crosses over everything.
And the range of people coming to the table, people with backgrounds in ethics and philosophy, people with backgrounds in economics. It's nice to see that you're making the links to all these different subject areas.
To see connections in time and in space, across disciplines, and encouraging our students to do exactly the same thing. Because if you want to have them to a different world, then we have to transform the way in which people are thinking. And that includes us, and it includes our students.
Throughout education of undergraduates is that they see that this is a problem on an altogether different scale, and that they, in their own profession, in their own working life, are going to have to make a contribution to this, because everybody, this is different stuff. We're in an absolutely different territory.
About students having confidence in their ability to think for themselves, to take risks, to think of themselves as change agents, language of communication, deep listening or active listening, just to have confidence in their own values and to be able to speak up.
Motivation is something, if one is already self-motivated, so it can make an impact in the society and motivate others as well towards sustainability and towards other things.
Like students in Hong Kong, usually they're not knowing, so they search on their smartphones immediately. That's the habit and attitude, but there's so many information out there and not sure whether that's right or wrong, and they need to have that attitude to be skeptical, to know what's right and what's wrong to believe.
I think that this idea of really how we actively engage students to really be taking possession, that a lot of these soft skills that are very hard, actually through these sorts of activities where they're really having to put themselves out there and learn about different perspectives, and we can do a lot of these things simultaneously, and that this kind of really active learning space is very valuable for doing that.
They will have the debate or some kind of persuasion activity, as followed up by reflective activity. They may have some kind of reflective thinking, writing statement online, and then they can share with each other.
We wanted them to be able to reflect on all these challenges and come up with solutions. And lastly, we wanted them to take all these exercises from the classroom discussion and role plays into their daily life.
And to kind of put students in the shoes of others to understand better, like put them into a totally different environment to kind of get them out of their own thinking and give them a challenge that they need to work on in order to raise their awareness.
And it was eye-opening because, a lot of us, when we think about simulations, we think about computational simulations, and we don't need to have computational simulations in classrooms to actually run a good activity.
we began from saying that this is not something that you can do by inventing a questionnaire. It's not.
I think you're
And so you're looking at smaller samples with more intention. And so then you will be talking about perhaps interviews, extended interviews. We also thought that it might be that you could ask students for some sort of self-evaluation. They've got 10 minutes, they've got a blank sheet of paper, you ask them to evaluate their own readiness.
Maybe that's a way of measuring, what do our students do outside our classrooms? Do they talk to other people about these issues?
Giving them a case and then letting them choose, like, what would you do, kind of things where you could then guide the students a bit. And for example, a topic like integrity, that would be something that you could test a bit on that. It's like seeing what would the student, how would they react to certain things. And we were thinking about whether you could do it pre and post with slightly different cases to assess whether they have changed their mind.